All right, guys, we're live for real. I literally thought we went live like 4 minutes ago, and I ended up just talking by myself. So super sorry for keeping you guys waiting in the audience. Everybody, welcome to this week's live, where we're going to be covering a topic that, a feature that we've had for a while, like I would say like for about 9 months, but we've never really gone super public about it. We were ironing it out. We were making sure it's just as good as it can get. And yeah, that feature we're going to be discussing today is the Aimfox MCP server. And yeah, I mean, like everybody today is using MCP servers to building, outbound motions. They're using them with Instantly, with Smart Lead, and they've been using them with Aimfox as well. So today, we have a guest, one of our experts, Giorgio. Giorgio, welcome. Giorgio is from one of the leading outbound agencies in the space, the Kiln. He also does a bunch of stuff himself. He's just a master of the craft. So Giorgio, welcome to the live.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alex, for being here, and very excited to talk with everyone today about the Aimfox MCP, which I have been using for, I would say, like the past 6 months, and I absolutely love it. So super exciting to be able to share with the rest of the community how I'm using it, and just have a discussion with you overall.
Yeah, man. Like as I was just saying, when it was just me and you without the audience before we went live, you were one of the first people that like adopted. Like as soon as we launched it, you jumped on it straight away. And this was like end of last year, or like second half of last year, right? And like I remember you were just hammering us with feedback. So I thought it would only be fair to bring you onto this live, as you're probably the person that has contributed the most with direct feedback. So I thank you for that. And today we're going to have a chance to see how you build and how you utilize this.
Yeah, absolutely. So just let me know how you would like to carry the conversation. I cannot even see if I am if I'm sharing my screen or not as of now.
I'll add your screen to the stage, and then we'll be able to show it. So just let me line out the agenda, how I said for today for the audience. As always, we're going to be having an active Q&A. So guys, we're going to give you a presentation of the workflows, of the setup, and just as we're talking, feel free to drop questions in the comments. And then as always, we will be picking out those questions one by one, and we will be answering them and handling them. As for the structure of the call, the idea is to show you how to do the initial setup from Aimfox. And then the idea is to walk you through some of the use cases and how Giorgio is using the Aimfox MCP server. So let's keep this active. The first question I have for the audience is, are you guys already using any sort of MCP servers? How familiar are you? Are you vibe coding? Are you using Claude? If you are, drop us a thumbs up, just so we know that you guys are that this is going to be something you guys are going to be interested in talking about. All right, so Giorgio, I'm gonna let you have the floor. Give us a breakdown of the setup. Give us a breakdown of the flow behind it, and we can start. I'm gonna go ahead and add your screen for the audience to see.
Perfect. So it looks like I'm sharing the screen. So just to start off really with the MCP. So whenever we first met at Sculpture in September in San Francisco last year, I was super excited to have the opportunity to try out the Aimfox MCP, because I was using, we were doing like outbound, both email outbound and LinkedIn outbound. And when it comes to the email outbound, we were already basically able to automate a lot of it. While for LinkedIn, which by the way is my favorite channel, because if you're just able to to build somehow, even just like a little bit of a personal brand, is way easier to get like a lot of reply. And we can just talk more about this. But the friction that I was having is I had to log in into the tool and prepare the campaign manually. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like it's kind of like time consuming, and I love experimenting. So maybe I want to be able to try like 50 different campaigns at a time, and I have maybe 6 or 5 different Claude Code session running at the same time. So in my ideal world is I just want to use software that have an MCP. So for example, for Aimfox, what I really, really care about is using the Aimfox infrastructure itself and not having to, let's say, like log in into it and prepare the campaign from scratch. With that being said, I'm also familiar with the platform, but I like to do everything from, let's say, like the back end. So just utilizing Claude Code from it.
Yeah. And so, honestly, I'll just jump in like with a little 2 cents here. Like honestly, like I've been getting more and more of that feedback. Like, power users telling us just always be aware that there are users who are never going to log into your platform, who are just going to be using it through an MCP. And we have huge MCP adoption. Like a third of our user base is using the MCP server, and we haven't even been pushing it. So I'm looking forward to this presentation today. We already have questions lining up, but we're gonna wait a little, guys, to just get the topics rolling, and then we'll get to the questions.
Yes, absolutely. And also for the people here in the call, is I'm not sure how many of you are using the MCP, but if you're not using it yet, I really suggest everybody to try it out. And the main reason being is, let's say if I just would use only Aimfox, is fine. I can just really log in into the platform. But let's say I'm using Aimfox for LinkedIn outreach. Then I have a Smart Lead for email outreach. Then I need to have all my data into Supabase. Then I need to push some information into the HubSpot. Already with these 4 tools is super time consuming because I have to log in into the 4 different tools, making sure that everything is running correctly. While what I care the most is just using the core infrastructure of the tool. So for Aimfox, I would say it's extremely easy to set up the Aimfox MCP. And for those who don't know what MCP are, I would say there are like great explanation out there. My favorite explanation would just be, imagine if before MCP, you had to call the right API endpoint to configure everything. While with MCPs, you can kind of just describe what you're doing, and the MCP will really just pick it up itself. So imagine the action that you are doing right now manually in Aimfox, whenever you need to create the campaign. It's going to be create the campaign, assign the user to the campaign, create the message. So all of those can be, instead of like doing it manually, you can simply use an MCP server for doing that. And then just ask Claude what you want to do, and Claude will just do it for you. Again, the team at Aimfox have created a great MCP, so I haven't had any sort of hallucination for any campaign. I can show you also on my IDE how it's going to look like, but there are like only 56 tools. So the possibility of having an hallucination is basically, I don't want to say 0, but at least like it never happened to me. So how do you go ahead and configure it? I would say kind of like everything nowadays, the best thing to do is just ask Claude, how can I configure it? And then can you just go ahead and configure it? So if you just type into Google or whatever your browser is, you can just type Aimfox MCP server. Then you can just paste this link into Claude Code and then say, how can I go ahead and configure it? So I use Claude. So you can also just do it from here. So if you do it from Claude via desktop, which is like this one, which I personally don't use, you can just follow here. Otherwise, you can just configure it via Claude Code, which is this part right here. And the only thing you're really going to need is just the API key. It's super, super simple. Yeah, you can just basically ask Claude to configure it itself. So once you are done with it, I wanted to show you maybe something that I am doing and really like how I am utilizing it. So Aimfox itself is the infrastructure to be able to send LinkedIn message at scale in an automated way. So in order to do this, the first thing that we need to do is create the lead list that we want to reach out to. There are many different tools. You can have Clay, for example. I would say like a Clay power user, so it's one of my favorite tools. But if we want to just go the MCP way, there are other tools such as Prospeo, which is amazing, very similar to Apollo, but there are so many more filter, and their MCP is great as well. Or Blitz API, which is another tool. It's a bit more expensive, but you have like unlimited data. So it's great, but you don't really need it for the case of LinkedIn. So you can get, for example, the Prospect with list and then say, okay, I want to target all the CMO at a software company located in Europe that have between 50 to 100 employees and that has raised more than 2 million. So this is creating your TAM. Now, let's say you have, I don't know, 1,000 people. That's going to be enough to reach out to for a couple of weeks. So Alec, you can give like the better number, but my suggestion is with LinkedIn to send about 100 to 120 connection requests per week because I want to be extra safe. With that being said, I know it's
So I'm going to be less conservative there. We're not going to let you in Aimfox do anything that is unsafe. So if we give you a 200 weekly limit, you can run the 200 weekly limit. Now, what might happen is you might reach the limit, which means that you are not going to be able to send new connection requests until the end of the week. But what I suggest usually is do about 180 connection requests per week if you're using a well warmed up account, because then especially if you're working with like a client account or if you want to just still send some manual connection requests yourself, it's good to leave a little bit of room, but you can rest assured that you're safe in upping that number to 180 per week.
Yeah, perfect. So thanks a lot. Because again, when it comes to LinkedIn, I would say like the first rule is not to get banned. So it's not like email, you can just create other, is you can buy other, but like with LinkedIn, I always want to be extra safe. I never had any sort of issue.
You're never going to get banned with us.
Perfect. I really like this. I just like to play extra safe. So going back to the campaign is we have generated the lead list. Now what we need to go ahead is just do effectively the campaign. So when it comes to the LinkedIn campaign, there is effectively, I would say, like various strategy on how to do it. So you can send an email message, which I never do personally. I always send out a connection request, and the connection request can be either empty or it can be like just a very short message. And then whenever the person reply, it can then go to like, let's say the automated sequences. So let me do like this example is here. This is like a super short connection request. Then you can, for example, view the profile. You can react to a post. And then only after you can send some sort of like a more automated message. All of this can be done via the MCP. So if you've never done any sort of Aimfox campaign, is you can just describe Claude. Is like, what do you want to do? And then Claude would just tell you, hey, this is how you do an Aimfox campaign, a LinkedIn campaign. While if you have already used Aimfox through the dashboard, it's going to be even much easier for you because you know in your mind exactly the action that you will be taking. So again, I'm not sure how technical we want to go here, but using the MCP is literally like having your asking one of your colleagues, hey, can you go ahead and please set up this campaign for me? And it can just do it.
Giorgio, I have an idea. I'm going to go off script a little bit here. Do you want to do something live? You want to create a campaign live?
Let's try. Yes.
Yeah. Or whatever you think will be interesting for the audience.
Yes, absolutely. We can try to create a campaign live. Can you please just type in the chat your LinkedIn profile? Can you just give me the URL of your LinkedIn profile? And I'll just add you to the campaign.
Yeah, let's take it from somebody in the audience who wants to be in the campaign.
Anyone in the audience can,
drop us your LinkedIn profile, and then, by the way, other people can connect with you as well from this chat. Drop us a LinkedIn profile, and then we'll put it in the campaign. And I mean, I'm sorry if I'm derailing a little bit here, but I just think it will be really cool for people to see things working like in the wild.
Okay, I'm still waiting for someone just to send over the LinkedIn. Otherwise, I'll just okay.
Just put. It looks like people are being shy. Just pull something up. Let me pull you up a link.
Hold on. Otherwise, I can just do it. I just didn't want to like log in into my LinkedIn Live.
Here. Yeah. This is going to be cool because this is going to give us a chance to see how things you actually run.
Did you already send the link or not? I didn't receive.
Oh no, sorry. I thought you were getting it.
Oh no. Okay.
I'll remove you from the stage so you can pull up the link.
Okay, perfect. Let me just do 1 second.
Yes, we need a LinkedIn profile. Anybody in the audience, just drop us a URL of a LinkedIn account, and we're going to throw it in a campaign.
Perfect. I did it. I now need to share the screen again, or do you? Okay, perfect.
And you're back. All right, let's see it.
So I took Andre LinkedIn. So the idea is, again, when it comes to the lead list, the way I would usually go about is I would use like external tool, just the traditional like Apollo, or Prospio, I really like it, or Clay, to generate this list. Because again, if you just need to reach out to one single person, there's no point in creating the campaign. It's just go ahead and send a message to that specific person.
Okay, so what was the prompt? Now go ahead and create a new LinkedIn campaign called Aimfox. Try.
Yeah, perfect. So now let me just try, let me try to see if this campaign has been created or not. So, oh, wow, see, I think it has been created. There we go.
So come on, have a little faith.
Yeah.
You know?
And literally okay, here's the thing is like, you don't have to be a prompt engineer. Go ahead and create a new LinkedIn campaign called Aimfox Try and add the lead. Like, this is it. You don't have to be good at prompting. This is like the beauty of like whenever like an MCP is well done, you know all the endpoint to create. So now I haven't said anything in regard to the message. So I'm assuming the message are just going to be empty. So I can just go here. And then as soon as it's going to load, there we go. We have one lead here.
That's Andre, that's the link from there.
Yeah, exactly. So for campaign flow, that's correct. It's actually campaign flow is right now just empty because I didn't set anything. So now I can just go ahead and say, okay, now view the profile. Now send an empty connection request, then view the profile, and then after 1 day send a message, hey, it's Giorgio, we are live from the Aimfox podcast. Perfect. So by the way, for those who have never using like Cloud Code, whenever here there are like token, it means like it's good because it's like is working through it. So this is good. And we usually can wait like 1 or 2 minutes, and then should be always everything done.
But it's that easy.
Yes, it's literally the thing is like you don't have even to be good. It's like this is like the worst prompt ever. Like you don't have to do very sophisticated prompt engineering, and everything
it said what it can't do, and
Yes.
I'll give you the reason why. So when you wrote the prompt, you said send the connection request and then view the profile.
Oh,
Well,
right.
You need to view the profile first and then send the connection request. But anyways, I think it'll be able to work its way through it. So realistic options are hybrid. You can configure the UI. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I can say, okay, then don't worry viewing the profile, just send an
It'll do it anyway. Yeah.
Request, and after 1 day, send a message.
Cool. And yep.
And then we're just gonna see it. Perfect.
Yeah. Very cool. I mean, like it just goes to show like how easy it is everything to run. And now tell me, Giorgio, like how do you like if you were to do multi-channel outreach? So say you want to combine this with emailing, how would you go about doing it?
Yes. So a lot of the time, I'm still a huge fan of what I kind of just say, like not coordinated multi-channel. So whenever there is like multi-channel, so we are reaching out into 2 different platforms. Many people, I think they overthink and they want to do really like coordinated multi-channel. So it's like, I want to send an email. Then if he doesn't reply to the email, I'm going to send a LinkedIn message. Then if they don't reply after 3 days, we're going to send another email. The reality is, and we have done also a lot of experiments, is like people don't care. Like people don't really like remember about you. You don't wake up in the morning and like you desperately need to buy like usually this software. So it's fine also if I reach out to you in like various moments. So with the MCP, what I'm able to do is if let's say one lead is replying to me into LinkedIn, then I will remove it from the email campaign. So what I usually do for more like complex campaign is I store all my data into Supabase. So Supabase is my storage, and then I use Aimfox is the infrastructure for LinkedIn. Then SmartLead is the infrastructure, or Instantly is the infrastructure for the email. And then the MCP is keeping track of all the response that we are getting. And if we are getting one response, we are also stopping it from the other side. So it's actually easier than ever before to also build all of these workflow. And again, really the only criteria is that all the tools that you are using, they have the MCP. So I want the Supabase to have the MCP, the Aimfox to have the MCP, and then the SmartLead or Instantly of the situation to have the MCP.
Oh, cool. By the way, I have a little bit of an off-topic question for you. How do you see so I know you do a lot of LinkedIn, but obviously you do a lot of emailing as well. How do you see performance of channels, like when you compare email to LinkedIn? Like, what do you see giving better results for clients?
Well, I mean, of course, like better result is always LinkedIn and will always be LinkedIn. Now, with that being said, there are like disadvantage and advantage to both of them, because the disadvantage of email is you're going to get like super low reply rate, but you can kind of like scale it as much as you want. If you think about it, you can just buy a new domain, create new inboxes, and nothing is stopping you from sending 1 million email per month. Like 100,000, 500,000 email per month is super easy actually to do that. So if you just care about the absolute reply rate, perhaps maybe email could be better simply for the fact that you can scale it up to the infinity. While when it comes to LinkedIn, is you're going to have way higher connection rate and reply rate. And the reality is, with if you send me a LinkedIn messages, I can see is you. I can put like a face in front of you. And the other thing that I would say, like a lot of people don't take this into consideration, is when it comes to LinkedIn, it's not just about the reply rate that you are getting. For my personal profile, is I am running a lot of campaign in which the campaign is actually empty. There is no connection, message, and no message, because the only thing that I care about is getting follower, because then I will post some content, and because the people are connected with me, they will see my content. So it's literally basically like free ads that you can get if you make your own content. And it's something
sorry for jumping in. There's also one more aspect, is that, as you just pointed out nicely, as you bring people into your first degree connections, you can keep on hitting them with messages down the road, and the limits are very lenient to that. So let's handle a few questions from the audience about what we went through. I think everything is pretty straightforward. Guys, if you have questions, drop them in the comments. If anybody would like to join actually on the live and turn their camera on, and by any chance, I'll drop you a link right now in the comments that you can use to join us here in the studio and ask your questions live. Okay, so let's start with this one. Darren Lopez 2243. Hey, Alex, Giorgio, you can create a skill and AI can open LinkedIn and connect. What's the difference?
Yeah, so I can try to like just jump on this. Okay, again, the first rule when it comes to LinkedIn is like not getting banned. So with you can arguably use like Comet that just will browse, will find people, will send the message. I don't know anyone who's doing it. I would say it's very, very risky. I would say extremely risky, because you don't have any control over it. There could be some sort of, let's say, hallucination. While if you really think about it, let's say you use something like Aimfox, which, by the way, is extremely cheap. I cannot remember the price, but it should be like $59 a month, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, first of all, it's 49, like 49. Perfect. There we go. Extremely cheap. It's like less than $2 per day. And if you think about it, there's not going to be any hallucination because it's just a workflow. So like you are importing the lead list, like it's not going to get that wrong. Worst case scenario, there could be some error in sending the connection, but I've never seen it. Like there could be, but it's extremely rare. And the message itself is you're writing within variables. So you can be 100% sure that there is the architecture behind for which the message corresponds to a lead ID. So there is actually like a technical infrastructure behind it.
There's a lot of technical stuff under the hood that it would, in essence, you would need to build an entire version of Aimfox to cover it. And that's not going to be something, we vibe code a lot and we're fast, and trust me, it's still a dozen plus people working on the product. Okay, let's go. Let's keep going. We have quite a few questions coming up. And by the way, we have Wendell here in the stage. Wendell, if you don't mind turning your camera on, that will be awesome. And then I can add you on and you can ask your question live. So while we wait, or I can just add Wendell and see if Wendell is ready. Wendell.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Let me turn my camera on. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Loud and clear.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm still new to this MCP world. So this presentation obviously came at a good time as I'm trying to figure out and navigate this world of MCP. So I guess the question I have for you is, and again, don't take this. I know I might come off as probably as a dumb question, but you guys have been doing this for years. So, so I have Claude. So how does MCP and Claude obviously integrate to make the campaigns and everything work through Aimfox?
Yeah, absolutely. So do you use Claude via like the desktop app, or do you use Claude via Claude Code?
I use it through Claude Code, through the actual application on the browser.
Okay. So when you use it for Claude, I would say if you've never used an MCP before, just you can go into the Claude app and then you go on the plus button and there's going to be what tool called connector. and then you can just connect to Aimfox. It's extremely easy just to connect itself. Or the other easiest thing is at the beginning, you can just like Google Aimfox MCP, and there's going to be the article, and you can just give to Claude the link to that article. And you can just say, hey, can you just configure it yourself? Or can you tell me like step by step how to configure it?
Okay. No, that sounds pretty straightforward. I guess with the follow-up question I had from that would be in terms of being a white label partner, right? Alex, maybe you probably might be able to chime in on this as well, because I know with the white label, we have to set up the integration for the client on the back end first. So how do we avoid them having to be able to, see make the integration without them knowing that it's coming from Aimfox?
Yeah, that's a good one. So just for everybody in the audience, like if you're on a white label with Aimfox, we decided not to give the white label end user the option to see integrations, the integration section. The reason is obvious, because if they were to go into instantly, they would see it's an Aimfox integration, and then the whole concept of the white label doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense anymore. So with that said, you would still you can set up as the agency owner, you can set up the integrations for your users. But that is like where things start getting a little tricky, because there are ways for them to see that it's coming with the Aimfox branding. So by default, we log that stuff out for you, and then it's going to be at your own discrepancy where you're going to decide, do you want to potentially explore that and go into that. So integrations are a tough one, just because you lose the branding, right? I mean, it's inevitable to see the Aimfox branding. We hide it as much as we can for the white labels, for the integrations, but yeah, it's a good question. It will have to be just for the other ones. You would have to set things up independently from the user.
Yeah, because I know with NAN, when I do select that as an option, it immediately shows up Aimfox, and then it has to do with integration. So I would assume that NAN, MCP, all fall under the same umbrella in terms of, we would just either have to be transparent about, hey, this is our partner, and this is what we're doing. If you want to do integration,
that's it. Yeah, you have to be you have to decide, you want to completely just everything under your logo, or if you're okay with showcasing or showing to some extent the Aimfox logo. So yeah, the Aimfox.
And it'll only be briefly anyways, right? Because technically,
But it's only for the moment. But
it's only for the moment, but it's just more of, I guess, the way around that would probably be to hide the URL or the browser whenever you're sharing the screen, if there's a way to do that. So, and they're not because you have to go into the white label dashboard, which is Aimfox, not the white label brand. So. Okay. No, that makes sense.
All right, man. Thank you for hopping on. And I'll see you in a minute. All right. Okay, we have another person in the stage. Hey, Rob. We'll be just a minute. Let me just run through these questions here that I see in front of us. And yeah, Cole68. By the way, I use the Aimfox to integrate it into my own CRM built with Lovable. It works great, pulling the messages, everything. That's great to hear. As I said, a lot of our user base is already using this. So if you're not, give it a spin. Rob, I'll be adding you on. Are you good to go?
Dan weet je dat.
Oh, nice.
Ja, streamyard.com.
Hey Rob, you are live.
Ja, dus YouTube, omdat hij natuurlijk veel meer bereik heeft dan ook. Ik weet het niet. Maar dan kun je dus via StreamYard kun je gelijk co-sprekers, die kun je dan toevoegen aan je presentatie.
Rob, you're live.
Zonder dat iedereen camera hoeft te gebruiken.
Okay, Rob doesn't realize he's live. We'll give Rob a minute to catch up. And here's a question. Here's another one for you. Can you use co-work instead of code?
I guess so. I've never used really like co-work, but I guess so. Yeah, it will work anyway. The MCP is more at the infrastructure layer, so you can use like the normal code, the Cloud co-work, or the Cloud code. Doesn't make any difference.
You can. Yeah, you can. Okay, let's just keep going. Here's a bit of a general one. Best practices on humanizing the outreach in the campaigns integrated into Cloud Code as a skill.
Yeah, perfect. So I would say the best way is just think how you would go ahead and do it manually. So let's say if, by the way, I'm not a huge fan of having like the entire message being custom with AI. I like to own my own message and just have like a few variables here and there. Because the main goal is just really for the lead to reply and then start having like a human conversation, basically. So, but let's say I would have to go with your way of, or at least if I have interpreted correctly, like you kind of want to write like the entire message with AI, but make it sound like very, very natural. What I would do is just write on a Google Doc, like 10 message, and say like why you have described certain things. So for example, hey, Alec, I have seen that you have recently released like the Aimfox MCP, which you can just describe it to the AI. Hey, first name, look at company domain and look for recent product feature, for example. And then you can pass those 10 message with explanation of what you have done into Claude and say, okay, now can you go ahead and create a skill out of this, which is just effectively like a .md file, a skill. And then you can just connect it and you can generate all the message via Claude Code and then pass the message as a variable within Aimfox. This is how I would go ahead and do it.
Thank you very much. Awesome. Yeah. Do you use AI to define your target audience? Yeah, this is a very good one.
Yeah, absolutely. I do a lot of the time. Although for company, I usually work with company that they're not really like super beginning like startup, so they have already their ICP in mind. So in your case, I would say it depends. If let's say you don't have any customer, then sure, you have to come up with like an hypothesis of like who's your customer, who's gonna buy from you, really like if you are at stage 0. While if you are at the later stage, what I think like the best analysis to do is actually just analyze your current customer and see, okay, what do they have in common? Maybe it turns out like 70% of your current customer are CMO working at like a software company. So you can just create a list of like CMO working at a software company with of course other characteristic. And they use, for example, a tool called Prospeo in order to go ahead and generate this list. And the MCP for them is extremely easy. It's basically as easy as the one for Aimfox. You can just type into Claude, hey, generate the list of the CMO at software company. And you can start generating, I don't know, maybe a list of 200 to 300 people just to test it out, check like the connection rate, the message that you're getting back. So this is how I would personally do it.
Thank you very much. My camera is lagging a little bit, so I'm just trying to figure that out. All right. I mean, we have a lot of questions, so we're let's just hammer through them.
Perfect.
And I mean, here you can read it out and you can go for it.
So I want to connect Aimfox to Zoho CRM. What is the best way to connect and push all data field like name, LinkedIn profile? Okay, so basically all the various field. So I haven't connected Zoho CRM into Aimfox or any other sort of CRM into Aimfox because like, and so Alec, if you want to just jump in real quickly, I don't know if you have native integration. What I do is I keep all the data into Supabase, and then Supabase is communicating with the CRM. So I mainly use like Salesforce or HubSpot, but the idea is kind of for any CRM, the only thing that you really care about is what is like the field name. So in your case, it's going to be name. Perfect. I can just take the name, normalize the name, and then insert it into the CRM or query that information. Then for the message, you can also just connect it with the message that you will want to send. And then you can just read if you got any positive reply and update it through there. But maybe, Alec, I don't know, you have something which is more native. At least this is how I do it.
Yeah. So we don't have a native integration with Zoho CRM. However, you can set everything up through webhooks and API. So, if you need help, feel free to schedule a discovery call with our team. Like, just go through the website, go to the demo page and schedule a call, and we'll be happy to help share some guidance on how to set everything up. Yeah. Were you guys able to hear me fine? Because my computer is bugging out.
I can hear you. I see you a bit lagging, but I can hear you. I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So, Giorgio, did you make some configuration?
Giorgio.
Yeah. At Aimfox before connecting Claude via MCP? No, not at all. You can just log into Aimfox. You can just sign up with, let's say, Google. Then you just connect your LinkedIn with Aimfox, which, by the way, there is also just like the article is if you just Google how to connect your LinkedIn with Aimfox, it does it. I believe I installed like a Chrome extension. There's like 2 options because I remember a lot of like customer are asking, because by the way, if you're using Aimfox on behalf of a customer, this action must be taken from the customer. At least that's my understanding. It's like it must be taken from the owner of the LinkedIn profile, and then it's super, super easy. And then once it's connected, it's all good. So, Warden, to answer your question, no, you don't need anything. Really, the only thing that you need is just the API key. That's it.
All right. Let's see if this is going to be any better. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm having some technical issues here. Can you still hear me at least?
We can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Well, that's something. I'll work with that. Okay. Yeah. And here's a general question that we get. How many connection requests per day is safe to send before LinkedIn flags the account? So again, just going back through this, like your account is not going to get flagged with Aimfox. The only thing that can happen is that you can exhaust your weekly connection limits, and nothing really bad is going to happen. You're just going to have to wait for those limits to reset.
So yeah, exactly. And what I do from my side. Sorry, Alec, if I'm interrupting you. You're lagging a bit, so I'm not sure if you were talking or not. But yeah, Benito, what I usually set to do is, again, I want to be extremely, extremely safe. So I set my weekly limit at 120, and they send over like 7 days period. So that comes at about like should be 17, 18. And then maybe every day I do other, I don't know, 4 or 5 like manual connection. So that's my setup.
Yeah. My laptop is not working with me today.
It's not helping us. Don't worry. Are you pulling those the question? Or is there, Andrea, I don't know if you can pull the question on the screen, because I'm not too familiar with StreamYard. I can just try to read any other question just for the guesses. I think there are some technical issues. I cannot really, I hope you can see me fine. If you can actually see me and you could reply to the chat, that would be awesome, because my view is different. I will just go ahead and read some of the question. So Benito, you had a question before. When I connect my own LinkedIn account, does Aimfox assign a proxy IP matching my country to avoid LinkedIn security checkpoint? Yes, it does. And Alec, whenever he jump back on, he can tell you more about the IP very specific. I know for a fact that whenever you are logging in for the first time, it asking you which country you're from, and then you can assign it to the country. So, for example, I'm based in Italy. I have assigned it to Italy. So this is how I do it. Perfect. Are you back on, Alec?
I mean, to some extent.
Okay, perfect. I'm just trying to go over the question.
Yes, go for it.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I saw you covered the local IP addresses for the logins and the connections. You, based on what I've heard, you've nailed it down. So yeah, awesome. So guys, like, let's see, like, do we have, like, if we have any more questions coming up? We do have a few more minutes left, so drop them now. Otherwise, we'll be wrapping this up, as you know. Well, for one, my laptop is just completely going berserk, and I'm sorry about that. But yeah. But I mean, like, anyways, like, there will be a recording of this session shared to everybody who attended and who hadn't attended, and it'll also be on our YouTube channel. And if you're not using Aimfox, make sure to check us out and to go onto the website and to schedule a discovery call with the team. And Giorgio, thank you so much for the time that you've committed to showing us these builds today. I think this was very helpful. I'm not seeing any new questions coming in, other than I just tried this Aimfox down. So yeah, I'm in the office, so we might have some outage here. I'm gonna go and check it out. So just give us a minute, and we'll be back up. And yeah, with that said, guys, thank you very much, and we'll be wrapping this up. Okay, perfect. We have some more questions coming in. Giorgio, can you grab them?
Yes, you mentioned Aimfox message 120 a week automatically. So what do you mean? Yeah, sure. So let me just read it for the other audiences. So what Benito is asking is that I mentioned before that in an automated campaign, I would do about 120 message per week automated, and then I still do like 4 or 5 manually. Those things are not like related with each other. So the same way in which, I don't know, I can send 120 automated message, there could be, I don't know, 12 message from 10 different campaign or 120 message from one campaign. So the idea is I have always some campaign, evergreen, always ongoing. And then because I'm a lot on LinkedIn, sometimes I just want to like message people, and you can just use like really like LinkedIn as normal. So Aimfox still allow you, is just really like the infrastructure to send automated outbound, but you can then just keep using your LinkedIn as normal. So if you're just browsing through LinkedIn, you want to command something or you want to send some messages, something, you can totally just go ahead and do it. So Benito, yeah, the reason why I was at 120 is that I know I'm going to have other like 20, 30 message that I send manually. So I can end up at, let's say, like 140 to 150 per week. And then, Alec, this question should be for you or anyone else. Are you planning on an integration with Rich Box, similar to Instantly?
Yeah. So it's in the pipeline. It's something we will be working on, and we will be keeping you guys updated. Honestly, my nerves are just about spent with this, with my laptop.
Okay, so yeah, it happened to all of us having like always technical problem. I'm pretty sure there will be also a live recording of this on YouTube right after the webinar. I guess, yeah, just Aimfox team is having like right now some problem with the Wi-Fi. But in case, just thanks everybody for joining today. If you have any sort of question, also just feel free to text me on LinkedIn. If you are not an Aimfox customer, I really suggest you at least like give it a try for a month, just see how your outreach is going. And if you're already a customer but have not tried MCP yet, I really suggest to give it a try. Again, extremely easy to configure it. Should take about like 10 minutes. Give it a try. It's so much easier than doing like things manually, and you can really like just benefit from the entire Aimfox infrastructure. And if you have been using a lot the tool, it's really easy, and it's just going to save you like a bunch of time. With that being said, thank you for everyone for joining. I hope we can just leave and everything will be safe. And looking forward to connect with all of you on LinkedIn. So thank you everybody for joining.